Escondido approves a tough on crime homelessness policy, and it comes with mixed reviews.
I warned that red states would come for IVF, and now they have.
The latest on the fight to protect IVF after an unprecedented court ruling in Alabama.
For 5 years, they've been growing their hair to donate to children in need. How you can participate in the Great Cut and possibly set a world record coming up in the Zeppelin Zone.
It's Throwback Thursday. We're taking you back in time, showing off a popular spot in Chula Vista. You're up with CBS 8. A lot of good stuff to get to here on this Thursday. An interesting day, February 29th, Leap Day. Every 4 years, of course, we experience this. It looks a little odd on the calendar, but yeah, 2/29 today.
You get an extra day to have to pay your bills. How about that?
That's right. Rent lasted an extra day.
Yes, prolong that as much as possible. So yeah, 2/29, happy Leap Day, everybody. And happy Leap birthday to those of you who are celebrating today. It's going to be pretty warm as you step outside. Look at that, 61 degrees now. We just bumped up a degree. Cloud coverage is here. We do have a little mist in the air because of it. Overall, there's a coastal eddy right off the San Diego's coastline. Big storm working its way towards California as we speak. I'll tell you how that will impact us here over the weekend in just a few minutes. And now to our top story, a big update this morning. The city of Escondido moving forward with a new, tougher policy on homelessness, but it's already getting mixed reviews.
Now, this new policy prioritizes public safety, while also stressing the need to help Escondido's unsheltered population. CBS 8's Regina Yerite live in Escondido now with more on this new approach and the reception that it's receiving here. Regina?
Yeah, that's correct. Good morning. Last night, the city actually moved forward with that new policy, and we're still in the beginning stages of what to expect from this, right? Because there's still a lot of questions, there's a lot of concern, and definitely a lot of pushback from homeless advocates as well as community members who just heard it yesterday. They were hoping that the city would rethink this new policy and work collectively with them to find something that works as a housing first approach, but they're moving away from that. So take a listen to what the residents had to say about this.
Housing first, well, housing first works if there's housing, but right now there is not, which is why it is so difficult. You can't get sober on the streets.
If this policy doesn't create more places for people to go, we won't be making any progress.
And so this is basically what happened once the city voted in favor of it. Homeless advocates pushed back, many saying it's divisive, and criticized the policy for calling most of the unhoused criminals and addicts. Now, this new policy is still unclear on many details, but it plans to take a tough on crime approach to homelessness. It also aims to build a city-run shelter that would require sobriety and would only serve Escondido's residents. During the meeting, Mayor Dane White emphasized the growing number of crime committed by homeless people and the impact it's had on local businesses as well as property values. They also pointed out how most of the calls police respond to are related to homelessness issues. So back out here, of course, homeless advocates are not okay with this. They're actually very disappointed that the city voted in favor of it. So there's still a lot of questions. Definitely we'll getting more details as this new policy moves forward with now that the city actually approved it. So we'll have to see what more information the city gives us. That's latest here outside of City Hall. I'll send things back to you guys.
Regina, thank you. Governor Gavin Newsom is set to make a stop here in San Diego today. He and other local leaders will be encouraging San Diegans to send in or drop off their ballots by March 5th. He will also be encouraging people to vote yes on Proposition 1. It aims to overhaul the state's current mental health system. It would also create a $6.4 billion bond, which would be used to fund 11,000 new behavioral health beds, as well as create more housing for the homeless, including veterans. A recent poll by the Public Policy Institute of California finds that 2/3 of likely voters would vote yes on the proposition. Critics argue the current Mental Health Services Act is working and that Prop 1 would disrupt or defund current behavioral health services being offered by individual counties. As we just mentioned, Prop 1 is a statewide bond, so it only needs a simple majority to pass. Therefore, the money would come from the state's general fund.
Prop 1 works exactly like nearly every bond in California does. It says this won't raise your taxes specifically. It'll just add to the overall debt level that the state has to pay.
Several more bond-related measures will likely make it to the November ballot.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are set to visit the U.S.-Mexico border today. So President Biden planning to travel to Brownsville, Texas. Donald Trump expected to give remarks in Eagle Pass. This trip comes as Biden considers executive action to restrict asylum access for migrants at the U.S. southern border if they cross illegally. The president has repeatedly criticized congressional Republicans for failing to pass a bipartisan spending package that included concessions on border policy. Now, President Biden has previously visited the border once as president. He went to El Paso, Texas, January last year.
Later this morning, Larry Milete, the Chula Vista man accused of killing his wife, was set to appear back in court. It's been over 3 years since his wife Maya went missing. Her body still has not been found. Today, Larry's attorneys are expected to let a judge know whether they'll be ready to go to trial in August. And an update here this morning, former Chula Vista City Councilwoman Andrea Cardenas and her brother are pleading guilty to felony charges. The two admit to lying on their unemployment benefits applications and to lying to the Small Business Administration to collect PPP loans. Andrea Cardenas stepped down from her Chula Vista City Council seat last week. She could have her charges reduced to misdemeanors as early as her sentencing. Her brother, Jesus, must complete 2 years of probation before he can apply to have his felonies dropped to misdemeanors. And this morning we have an update on that young gray whale that was found dead in La Jolla shores last week. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, said there was no clear cause of death, but noted the whale was thin and in poor condition. The whale, which was just a few years old, washed ashore last week. NOAA hopes that a deeper analysis of biological samples taken from the whale will provide greater insight into its cause of death. Yeah, it was tough to see.
Yeah, of course, that was the one by the Marine Room.
Yeah,
a lot of people
it was tough
gathered.
to see. We were hoping it would turn around and be able to swim back to sea.
Yeah, it's Mother Nature. No,
It is
what
Mother
happens.
Nature, and
There's
Mother
good and
Nature's feeling a little misty out there today when you step outside. Is this the beginning of what we're going to be seeing here?
It's a sign that our flow is coming from the ocean, the onshoreness that we get. So yeah, west to east kind of flow. And of course to the north, we've been talking about this major snow maker that's headed to much of the Pacific Northwest. San Diego, we will start to see on Saturday early morning some raindrops from that. But let's show you what's going on here. Overcast conditions as the misty marine layer comes back. There's actually a coastal eddy just off the shore, so that's where that's coming from. Cooler and cloudier today and tomorrow ahead of the rain, and then the temperatures will keep dropping through the weekend. We'll be well below average by Saturday, Sunday with rain and wind coming our way. So for today, low 60s, also a little bit below average, especially inland. 63 will be our afternoon highs, whether you're at the beach or in places like Ramona. 57 in the mountains, 75 in the deserts. Maybe the marine layer will leave us alone at some point this afternoon, but the coast, I think it's going to hang out with you all day. Look at the big system that I was referring to. So this could bring 4 to 8 feet of snow. It's starting already, as you see, across the Sierra Nevada mountain range to the north, of course. Washington, Oregon, northern central California will get dumped on from this low. It is a cold system, and it's going to increase winds. So blizzard-like conditions expected. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming through as heavy snow comes in. That's why people were being advised not to drive all the way through Sunday or Monday because of how much this is bringing. Look at San Diego, though. That's us way over there at the very bottom of this. So that's why we're barely getting much compared to everybody else. We could see a light dusting of snow in our mountains, but it does look like most of the activity, of course, will stay here, where all these watches and warnings are now in place. Now that the snow has arrived, I mean blizzard warnings, high wind warnings, winter storm warnings, wind advisories, you name it. It's all coming towards northern and central California. Here in San Diego, it looks like just mist today, tomorrow. That rain, like I mentioned, expected to pick up early Saturday morning. Most of your day on Saturday will be a wet one. And then by Sunday, a lot of this should ease up. I do want to show you traffic here real quick. And let me get to that if I could. There we go. It looks like all we have going on right now, just a stalled car. So as I zoom into this is on the 94 at Federal Boulevard eastbound side. Slow lane is blocked. Border wait times, let's check in on that. 110 minutes to go through the San Ysidro port of entry from Mexico. Otay Mesa's port of entry taking 75 minutes right now.
The Supreme Court agrees to take on President Trump's immunity claim. Coming up, why the impact could reach far beyond former president. And protecting fertility clinics. We have the latest out of Alabama, where the fight to protect IVF continues.